two, of course, Blazuzziak and Mike Brown we're talking about. Corey Gerfunder from Canada was the second fastest qualifier that's in this heat. He was third overall qualifier, so watch for his speed. He is a very technical rider. Taylor Robert recently just won the last dog standing in the United States, and he is a big hitter when it comes to Enduro X.
And there you see in the center of the screen, that's Blazuzziak with Brown right next to him. Brown, a surprising fifth place qualifier with Brown right off the start.
Shot out of a cannon.
Wow!
Watch as they take to the course. Now, there are some ruts. Watch, you'll have to be technical and careful, and everybody knows that is involved with motorcycle racing. Mike Brown is a former AMA champion. When it comes to ruts and blasting the turns, Mike Brown will have the advantage. Watch this.
Blazuzziak coming up the inside, and we saw guys having a lot of troubles. There's a double apex on the rocks there, but Mike Brown managed to get out in front of everybody.
Taylor Robert getting in the mix there on the number 33 as well. This is a tough section test.
Oh, the matrix. This is horrible. And then, really new water feature. The water actually has a right-hand turn in it, so they have to ride the water. Everything now is going to get soaking wet.
Now you saw how many ruts there were on the little double up to the water step-in. These logs as well are going to get tough, and then air it out. Look at the ruts on the backside, and this is the toughest obstacle on the course. They may make it look easy at first, but it is going to get tougher and tougher with the rock climb.
Look at the speed of Taddy Blazuzziak on the orange bike behind Mike Brown. He is chasing him down, and Blazuzziak had a blistering qualifying time, 5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field.
Which is absolutely amazing. We were watching the time session, and you really couldn't see it, but that's usually when someone's the fastest, is when they're looking smooth and polished. He's got the skis out for a second there. Blazuzziak does. Mike Brown controlling the situation. Here comes Blazuzziak
through the rocks there for Mike Brown.
Well, Brown's going a little bit wider, so he can do a one pivot turn. If you watch there, Taddy going to the inside, looked like he is willing to do a double pivot. As we look a little further back, the rider from Arizona, that is the Kawasaki of Taylor Robert. Different styles jumping into the water there. You saw Brown kind of controlled speed, didn't want to make a big splash. Blazuzziak came flying in.
So Mike Brown looking pretty comfortable right now in the lead. Taddy, though, is not going to let him get away. But if anything, Mike Brown is definitely the class of the field when it comes to just straight out speed.
Absolutely. 5 riders will advance out of this first heat. Of course, we'll have a second heat and then a last chance qualifier to make up the men's final. The other thing you need to know about Mike Brown, if you don't know a lot about Enduro X or motorcycle racing in general, he's not an easy rider to get past. You saw Blazuzziak come blasting up the inside, and Mike had his leg out. He's not going to move the leg to make it easier or any safer for his leg. He is a tough hombre for sure. You just don't wrestle your way past Mike Brown.
Well, Blazuzziak having trouble there, but managing to get back on the bike and get out, still holding on to second place.
And we talked about the ruts, and what makes them difficult to ride is as they beat in, if they get 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches deep, the tires, as you can see right there, you're going to start wedging side to side. The side of your knob you start to catch. It starts to redirect you. That is one thing that makes it tough. Plus, it sucks the speed out of the bike in some instances. And in some ways, sometimes you can drag your pegs and really cause yourself a problem.
And what we saw, this rock pile is one example. Here it is. The rocks actually move because of the soft mud underneath them, and that's what happened there to Mike Brown. He got caught between the rocks. We saw that happen a lot in practice and seeding.
That's the beauty of Enduro X racing right there, is you can have a pass for the lead at 1 mile an hour.
And remember, Taddy Blazuzziak now in the lead. He tore the ligaments in his right wrist in Barcelona.
And it looks like he's torn his goggles off as well. Which might
go for the tear-offs, and maybe there's just nothing left.
I didn't see it, but he's definitely not wearing goggles. Here's a double pivot for Blazuzziak. Oh, Taylor Robert with the great save.
He goes down,
but ends up dumping it.
So now, Taddy Blazuzziak has no goggles on. He needs to stay out front so that he doesn't suffer the roost of anyone in front of him, kicking up the dirt from their back tire.
And you can see possibly why his goggles were done up, as how aggressive he's jumping in the water. You see the different style by Brown. Now we talked about it. 5 riders are going to qualify, so technically Brown doesn't have to beat Blazuzziak or vice versa, but there's not only bragging rights, but gate pick as well. So the fastest rider in the fastest heat of the 2 gets to pick first on the gate. Blazuzziak has problems.
Down in the same spot now. Mike Brown trying to go past on the outside. Brown regains the lead.
These are the best riders in the world, the best technical riders. Tadej Blazuzyak has won the Erzberg Enduro 5 times. If you don't know what that is, that's the hardest of the hard Enduros that are out there. It's an obstacle course race in Austria through a mining facility. It is incredible. It's hours long, right? And this is the idea behind Enduro X is a mini version or a shortened version of those hard Enduros that you have in the outdoors. Next week in Romania is Romaniacs, another hard Enduro. So we have a lot of talented riders that have won a number of those events.
So this is the final lap. Mike Brown still in front of Tadej Blazuzyak, but Blazuzyak coming back on the charge.
And Brown, careful into the water. Here comes Blazuzyak. This is where the last lap heroics come in. Now look how slippery these logs are. They have to set up, get a little bit of a run through the rut, and then get some drive up the face. And this is where it's been going wrong. It went wrong for Brown once, went wrong for Blazuzyak once. We'll see if it's a difference maker here on the last lap in the rocks.
Here we go.
And
Brown, a problem. And Blazuzyak goes past Brown, coming up towards the finish of this first heat race. Wow. No one ever gets to just run away in these races. Amazing. Brown's still charging though, but it's going to be Tadej Blazuzyak winning heat number 1 in men's Enduro X. Mike Brown takes second, and Grafunda is going to take third. Wow. The last lap, last minute.
That is what, I mean, we're talking about it. Anything can happen at any time in Enduro X. It's the way it is. And there's your winner, Blazuzyak.
And interestingly, Alfredo Gomez managed to get past Gersten to take that 5th transfer spot. The rest of those guys are going to go into, they're going to move and go into the last chance qualifier.
So trying to sort out all 5 qualifiers, and it looks like it's going to be Blazuzyak, Brown, Gomez, Robert, and Max Gersten from Arizona.